You just reminded me. Actually, I don't know if this is internally or never mind. This is probably internally. I was going to say all right, we're back here with episode 24 of the GameFi Rundown. We have Jimberino as always, and we're welcoming on SJUD to the show here. He's not on webcam here, but we can imagine how pretty he looks. So SJUD, welcome. Yeah, definitely. So I know you're not going to stick around for this full episode, but we wanted to get a couple topics that would be great for you at the beginning of this episode. So we'll just get right into it. So the Ascendant Arena IIP, you know more about this than I do, but I just want to kind of get the thought process that went behind this. Because, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, SJ is on the gaming sub-council for Illuvium. So he had a very big role in coming up with this Ascendant Arena IIP. So just what was the thought process, behind the scenes coming up with or the changes for the Ascendant IIP? All right, so we just got cut off real quick. I had to put SJUD onto the actual call here. Go ahead, SJUD.
Okay, so the team came to us with this IIP. They had been thinking of making a change to the Ascendant Arena from the standard of what we had known before of stage 1 alluvials being used as stage 3s. They felt it needed a change, so they came to us to write an IIP for it. And they also introduced a free rotation that players could use, which would have a certain amount of alluvials and augments in it, in order to just kind of supplement your deck. And these would be rotated on some sort of time basis that needs to be tested and determined to figure out the best situation for. And then in the gaming council, I decided that having pre-built decks was actually a good idea in order to help onboard new users into the ecosystem, something that every card game does, where you get to learn the mechanics of the game, play it for free, and then decide how much more you want to get into the game.
How strong are these decks going to be? I heard they were going to be less competitive, but is this going to be something where people might start playing the free decks and just decide that that's all they want to do and just come in every day and play the free decks? What's going to incentivize them to actually go out and catch these alluvials themselves?
So I know this was a hot topic in both the feedback thread and in the town hall, talking about how powerful these decks are going to be. And the intent we're going to have with these is to make them fairly weak. We don't want, as you said, people to just only play the free-to-play decks. These are meant as strictly a new player onboarding tool. It's kind of like a try before you buy type of thing. And of course, like if you are a skilled player, you might be able to do a little better than the unskilled players with the decks, but you're going to be capped out pretty early on because these are going to have mostly stage 0 or stage 1s of tier 0s and tier 1s. You're going to have weak ranger weapons and armor. Like it's not going to be something that you're going to want to play for a long time in order to climb up the leaderboards. You're going to want to play it, learn the game, and then you're going to start getting a lot of losses, and you're going to see other people's alluvials and other people's decks, and you're going to be like, well, now I need to go out in the overworld and catch my own.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know what you guys have talked about with the Leviathan Arena, but is that being talked about right now? Like, how do you see the differences looking between the Ascendant Arena and the Leviathan Arena?
So previously, one of the big differences was this whole stage 1 into stage 3 topics, where the Leviathan, you did have to own everything. Well, now the Ascendant is kind of the same way, where you have to own, if you want a Ramfire, you have to play, if you want to play a Ramfire, you have to own a Ramfire. And the big difference now is going to be with leveling and stats. And so these aren't implemented into the game yet in the overworld, but all alluvials are going to have randomized stats from some sort of low range to high range. And they're going to have a big impact on how well they perform. And they're also going to be leveled up through playtime in the overworld and playtime in the arena. And levels will add to their power as well. So that's going to be the big difference in the Leviathan Arena compared to Ascendant, where those stats and levels are normalized.
Jimbo, any questions on this, the Ascendant Arena? I know you're a big PvP guy.
I think it would be good to just go over and explain how the rotating alluvials would work, or like how you see it working, or what their purpose is. Just give whatever information you think you can or is suitable so that they understand the purpose of those.
Will it change like the survival mode? Like I think it's just at the beginning of the day, UTC time, it'll just rotate, every 24 hours?
So nothing is set in stone right now. We still have to discuss everything and come up with the actual plan. It won't be every day because I think that's going to be too quick of a turnaround. The idea around the rotation is you're going to have your base deck, like your base alluvials that you've gone out and captured and you play with. Some you might not have a lot of the most powerful ones. You might not have certain ones that you've seen are good and might want to play with. So you're going to see the free rotation, and let's say it's on a weekly basis. You're going to be able to build around your own deck and the rotation alluvials and build something that you normally wouldn't get to play with. And then maybe after that week is over, you decide, hey, I really enjoyed playing that. Maybe it used a Ramfire. So now I'm going to go out and I'm going to try and capture my own Ramfire so I can continue playing on with that deck. Or if you want more variety, the next week's rotation might have different units in it. And you'll decide, hey, maybe I could build a deck using some of these new ones in the rotation that I don't have.
Okay. And so just to be clear, there's actually two different rotations, right? Because there's the free decks. Do the decks have any rotation, or are those just the standard decks, and then it's the free rotation of a certain amount of alluvials each time?
So they're completely separate. The free pre-built decks are not NFTs. You cannot use them anywhere else. They're not rotating. They're just going to be some set weak decks that you can play to learn the game with. And maybe when new sets are introduced in the future, then these pre-built decks would change. If there's new like traits and mechanics and stuff that you need to onboard to teach onboarding players, then we could readjust the decks, keeping the same power level, but just changing it up a little bit. The free rotation units are going to be only available in the arena. You can't use them anywhere else. So once again, they're not NFTs. You're not getting anything for free. You're getting to use them. You're not owning them. And I think that's a big distinction where you're not actually going to be hurting the market because you're not being gifted any of these things into your wallet.
Let's move on to the next segment here. So in-game socials, and have a really good name for this, but really what I wanted to talk about is like the idea of just alliances, or a way to just make the game more social. I don't know if there's been any talks about, I think I've heard this before, in Sanctum Mesa, it might actually be you can walk around and see other rangers before you go travel to, a different region. But how do you see, if this has been talked about at all, like the social element of Illuvium working?
Well, I mean, I think Jimbo knows how fun chat can be, and I think it's going to be no different in Illuvium. However it's implemented, I think it's going to be a lot more fun to interact with people, whether it be in the arena or in the overworld than it currently is now, for the good and the bad. And maybe Jimbo could talk about a little of that.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is it's not a team game, right? So it's like single player. Really, the only like in-game socials I really see is if like you said with the Sanctum Mesa thing, maybe they have like obstacle courses on Sanctum Mesa where multiple people can play together at the same time. But as far as like arena goes, I mean, it's a single player game, so most of the time you're just going to be playing against some other person, and generally, since it's like an NFT game, and it's probably going to be pretty toxic, let's be honest, but it'll be fun. It'll be nice little banter back and forth. But yeah, I think we're a little bit far off from like groups of people playing together, unless we get some kind of game mode for arena like TFT has, where it's like 1v1v1, which I'm sure that's probably being planned. Who knows? But yeah, fun game modes like that in the future for sure.
And what are your thoughts on like guilds or alliances within the game? I don't know, maybe they say you can team up for an alliance with 50 other rangers, and then like your overall scores get put together for rewards or something like that. Because then you add in that element of Jimbo, you're on my team, and I'd be like, all right, we really need to step it up this week in the arena. We all need to win our matches so we can rank up as an alliance. How do you see that working?
Probably the same way it does right now, right? Like with Xborg and like Hype always like bantering back and forth with each other. I think we're gonna see a lot of the same like kind of trash talk and just banter back and forth between guilds. Like, we have the best players, no, we have the best players. Honestly, that's what I'm most looking forward to, is like the banter back and forth between the best players in the world, and creating the drama around that and the storylines behind that, and seeing the big matches come up. Or just like, if this guild and this guild has beef, let's go, let's have a tournament, let's see who's better, let's see who's actually better. And that's the exciting thing about PvP, and that I is going to be so much fun. Trust me, it will be so much fun. We have so many big personalities in this space. It's going to be very entertaining.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what SJUD does, because every time I look at the ranking for survival mode, he's at the top. So
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sure
like
he's gonna
Jimbo
do it.
said, this is going to be like a big thing. The teams, I don't think it's going to be like Jimbo said, like a MMO type of system where like you're talking with your guild and you're going out. There's none of that planned, but it's more of going to be okay, we're a team of top players, you guys are a team of top players, and let's go at it. And as everyone can see from like Discord chats, there's already that friendly animosity, let's say, going between certain players and teams. And that's only going to get intensified with PvP and then the chats, in-game chat, especially with a game like Illuvium, where maybe something doesn't go your way one round and you're going to like, scream for that rematch immediately or something of that nature. And it's going to get pretty fun.
Yeah. Now I can just imagine. Like I've just been like an athlete growing up. My favorite games always to play are like the chippy ones where you're just talking trash and you get beat one time and then you beat somebody else the next time. Like I can't wait for that back and forth. I hope I'm good enough to actually back up the trash that I'm, hopefully going to be able to talk.
I don't give a damn. I'm talking trash regardless.
Yeah,
If I'm
you're
the
already
worst
planning
player
on
in the
talking
world,
trash.
I'm still talking that smack.
I've seen Jimbo like die over and over in league and still be talking shit to everyone else on the team. So wins and losses don't really matter to him. He's gonna be spouting off nonstop.
True.
Like there's gonna be a lot of muting going on.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? When PvP does come out, like I would love to have you back on this show to kind of maybe give us a little lesson, or at least give me a lesson, because I might be struggling off the start.
I mean, everyone could practice now with survival, but it's going to be different. Like just the nature of it is going to be much different. You're not going to be able to see like every wave your opponent has like on the board and be able to take 10 minutes to micromanage your own team. You're like all these different units. Like it's a completely different game. Well, yes, the basics are going to be the same. You're still going to have like bulwark trades. You're going to have all your different affinities and all that. All the strategies are going to be completely different.
All right, so we'll move on to the next segment. SJUD, I don't know if you need to get out of here, if you want to stick around for a little longer.
Yeah, I'm going to take off, but thanks for having me on, guys, and I'm sure to be back in the future.
Yeah, definitely. We'll invite you back at some point. Definitely once PvP comes out, I definitely want to have you back on here so you can, tell us more about that.
Unfortunately, Shakira was not here today. She had something to do. So
I know, I was promised. Yeah, that was a big thing for me, but maybe in the future for my next appearance, we could get that.
Next time, I promise.
Yeah, okay. I got you. I got you on that.
Okay, see you guys.
All right, brother. All right. Nice. That was great having SJUD on. I like having new people on, especially someone like that. Like I haven't really talked to him too much, really, for any reason, but seems like a cool dude.
And especially with this and the IIP, I think it's nice for the community to hear straight from him the thought process behind it and why it matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I definitely want to do that more often too. Like anytime a big IIP gets passed, get somebody from that council on here to just give us like the firsthand experience from it. Going through it.
I think that makes it better for the community as well. So everybody's flowing together. Everybody's on the same page.
Definitely. All right, so moving on. So the next Illuvium game, it got brought up somewhere in some chats internally. I don't know. I saw it, and it was basically just once we get to open beta and we have more, more resources or more time, what is going to be the next thing that gets worked on? A couple of things that came up right away. I actually made a Twitter poll. I'll share that real quick. So one of the things that came up was just like, what would be kind of like that low-hanging fruit, or that first thing that you want to do? There were talks about the card game for Illuvitars to bring some more utility to that. The other thing that was brought up was some element of PvP for Illuvium Zero. And then obviously beyond that, you have more of those standalone titles, which might be like an FPS or a kart racing game or something like that. A poll here would just be like, what would you like to see, happen next out of the PvP for Illuvium Zero or the card game for Illuvitars? I also put in here to keep in mind that a card game would come quicker than Illuvium Zero. but also that neither of these would happen until, after open beta. I wanted to put like a third option in here, just where you can like see results, but I thought I'd be funny by putting the dating simulator, and it seemed like a lot of people actually wanted to click on that one. But PvP for Illuvium Zero won out by a little bit. I only got 73 votes on this, so obviously that's only a very small part of the community. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on this, Jimbo. What do you think would be the best idea for a next game? Like, do you think it's going to be a brand new title that should be focused on, or get something done quicker, like the Illuvitar card game, which might be the quickest thing to put out?
Yeah, I think the quickest thing to put out is definitely not the right road to go down. Because, like, let's just be honest, we don't have any of the games out right now. I think really what we should be doing is focusing on Arena as much as possible. And then maybe a couple years down the road, I mean, if we do something like a dating simulator, that could be thrown together in like a week, right? But if we want a serious title, I personally would like a shooter. I think a shooter inside of the Illuvium regions in the universe, and somehow incorporating the Illuvials into that would be just absolutely incredible. But yeah, again, that would be like years down the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Illuvium Zero had PvP, I might be more enticed to play it. I will say that, but I would prefer a shooter, I think.
I'm definitely different on that, but that's just for preference. Like, I've always sucked at first-person shooters. I tried to play like Halo and Call of Duty when it was popular, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. I was just never good. I had fun when I was playing with like my brother and my friends, but from a competitive standpoint, I wasn't very good at that. But I do tend to like mobile games. I've mentioned this before. I'm on the go a lot, and I'm not at my computer that often. So being able to just load up something on my phone, I think would be great. And that goes for not just me personally, but I think about, everybody who could possibly play across the world. There's a lot of people, in this world that have a cell phone that they can play a game on, don't have a computer that's going to be able to run a bigger game. So I think just from an onboarding standpoint, getting something that could be on mobile, I think would be one of the top priorities. It's going to be a great onboarding tool. Now, that doesn't have to be Illuvium Zero PvP. The card game that they come out with for Illuvitars could be a mobile game. Or maybe there's something that we're not even thinking about right now that could come out as a mobile game. I do think getting something on mobile, and also just the arena. I know that's a plan to get the arena on mobile. And maybe that's just the next step, is just, all right, we have Arena out for the computer. Now let's focus on getting the Arena out for mobile.
I think Arena on mobile is going to be absolutely huge. Because I remember when old school RuneScape released their mobile version of the game, the player base literally doubled and it didn't decline. You know what I mean? So like, there's so much potential with mobile games, especially for a game like Arena. I mean, Teamfight Tactics has a mobile version, and it's. I mean, you won't be as good as if you are on computer, because you can shift through different players and see what they're doing so much faster. But I think with Arena, it actually could just be almost as good. And I mean, it's just going to bring in so many new players. So I'm really hyped for Arena on mobile. And like you said, you're always on the go. I'm home more often, but it still would be nice when you're out to be able to play it if you're like waiting in line or something. You know what I mean? It just makes it so much more accessible.
Yeah, and definitely with this new Ascendant Arena IIP, to know that you don't actually need to go out in the overworld and catch alluvials to be able to play that game. So somebody who doesn't have a computer can actually still play it. And if they enjoy it enough, then maybe that entices them to go get a computer or download it on a computer if they've just been sticking to mobile. I'm excited to see what comes out of that. Being on the strategy sub council, I might have a say in what is the next priority. That hasn't been brought up yet, but we will see. Let's move on here. I think we can make this a pretty quick segment, but there's some updates for Illuvium Beyond with Illuvitars. There was 2 recent IIPs that got passed. There's the alpha stamp, obviously. That was, I wouldn't say, that one kind of went under the radar. I don't think there was too much going on with that, but it's definitely a plus. They didn't have anything that really signified it being an alpha Illuvitar before this. A lot of people don't care too much for it, but being a Pokemon card collector, You know, I do have some of those first edition Pokemon cards from the original set, and you know, I keep those a lot closer and safer than I do the non first edition ones. Before I get your thoughts on this, the second IIP that passed was obviously a much bigger one. This was highly debated. Wave 2 Illuvitar sale, prices for that. All right, so for this Wave 2 sale, so your standard non-alpha is going to be $6. That's slightly cheaper than it was previously. They were around $8, $9. The mega is going to be $36. So now we're looking at a 6x difference versus the 5x difference from the previous sale. Then we have alpha standards at $12. And let's see, what's 108 divided by 12? That's closer to like an 8x. So there's an 8x difference between the alpha standard and the alpha mega. I wasn't part of this final decision. I'm really not too sure why the multiplier is 6x for the non-alphas and 8x for the alphas. But anyways, these are the prices that we're getting. It has been passed. I don't think we have a date yet, but I heard we're definitely looking at sometime in August. I don't think we're going to get into September before we get this. So it's coming soon. The parameters are set. So what are your thoughts on all this? You know, the alpha stamp finally getting the new parameters for the next sale. I know you're not big on Illuvitars. Are you going to buy any at these cheaper prices?
It depends on what they entice me with. Like, buy this amount of this, you get this. It depends on that. So we'll see.
So sorry, you just reminded me. Actually, I don't know if this is internally or never mind. This is probably internally. I was gonna say they. Never mind. All right, go ahead. Go ahead with your thoughts. We won't talk about that until it gets posted.
Yeah, so it depends on what they entice me with, like what they can give me for like how many discs I buy. I honestly, the Illuvitars in this set are better in like I think a lot better than not that the first wave was bad, but I just think the artwork on this one was like they leveled up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Ramphy looks absolutely beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I would love to have a Ramphy. So I don't know. Again, I'm not super into Illuvitars, but I'm personally the guy that like wants that one profile picture that does look sick. So that's my relationship with Illuvitars. If I can get a cool Ramphy, I'll be pretty happy with that. But I mean, if not, I'll just keep the rarest Axon in existence.
For me, I've actually been playing this game. Again, I'll say the only reason I've really been able to keep up is because I got lucky and pulled the Blazing Ramfire. I've been staying in that top 100, so my plan is to just see how long I can hold on to that top 100 and collect the rewards until I'm priced out. And then once I'm priced out, I'll make a decision from there. I know there are some, I don't know, I wouldn't call them plans. There's been talks about expanding the leaderboards. We're not sure if that's going to include rewards or if that's just going to, show more on the leaderboard. But we'll see, how it plays out. Like I said, if I'm able to compete, or let's say that there has been a determination that a card game for Illuvitars is going to be the next thing that comes out, and we know we're going to need to, collect these to be able to compete in that card game, that could entice me a little bit more to keep playing if I get knocked out of that top 100. But overall, I am excited for it. I like that the prices are a little cheaper. I can get that dopamine hit by buying a $6 disc, one or two of them every night, just a quick dopamine hit before I go to sleep or something. But I did have fun during that first wave. I'm not going to lie. Opening them up and figuring out how to, be efficient with putting the accessories on them and staying in the leaderboards. And when you do open up, get a big pull like a Ramfire or something like that, like you feel on top of the world for a little bit. You're just like, you feel like you hit the lottery.
With the cheaper prices, again, I'm not super into Illuvitars, but what I am really into is opening them live on the stream and then giving them away. So, and with the cheaper prices, you have more content, right? Because you can open more discs now.
Yep.
I think that's actually going to be pretty big for me personally, and probably a bunch of other content creators. Just the opening and the community aspect of that for Illuvitars is something that I am pretty into, and I really enjoy that.
And I will say, I watched your Twitch stream when you were opening and giving away those the GameStop discs. Pretty entertaining. I think you're more entertaining on your Twitch stream than you are on here. I think you humble yourself down a little bit. I think I'm
A little
bringing you
bit.
down actually.
Nah. We're just more serious here. You know what I mean?
More
I
serious.
like to
Okay.
have fun and be silly on stream.
More informative. Yeah, I don't even know if I've done this, but if your Twitch, like a link to your Twitch is not in the description, I'm gonna make sure it's in the description so you can go over and follow him on Twitch. Do it, definitely do it. Who knows? Maybe he'll be opening up some of these discs when the Wave 2 comes out.
You
We
never
will
know.
see. Okay, so why don't we just move on here? We'll stray a little bit from Illuvium and talk about Star Atlas, but I do want to bring this back to Illuvium because I actually just saw Paggy posted something on Twitter. I know a lot of people probably blocked him, so they don't even see this. But it was a clip from, let's see, a video that Crypto Stash, is that what it is? Sorry. Crypto Stash? Yeah, Crypto Stash had with the CEO of Star Atlas, and he began to like talk some more smack about Kieran and Illuvium. Anyways, I don't understand that after they're clearly going through some struggles. They've laid off a lot of core contributors. I know Kieran's actually made a statement, and even Annie for ETH Lizards made a post on Twitter that said, you're looking for a job and you just got laid off from Star Atlas, there might be a spot for you over at Illuvium or ETH Lizards. But I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Like, is Star Atlas going to make it, or are they just done for now?
Dude, like, why are they talking crap about us when they lost half of their runway due to the having all of their assets on FTX, right? It was like half or over half. And I'm not like the Star Atlas hater. I hope they do well. I really do, but like, why are you talking shit? You know what I mean? Like, you have no room, especially when your game's 10 years away from being finished. I mean, I hope it's finished next year. That would be awesome, but it's not. That's not how life works. That's not reality. So this dude is, I don't know. He seems like a nice guy and he means well. That's what I think, but I mean, who knows, man? A lot of the people in this crypto space, they just don't really understand like what it takes to make a real game and how many years that you have to put into it. I don't know if he understands that yet. And I really hope that it's incompetence and not that he's lying. I don't think he is lying though. I think it's a little bit of incompetence and maybe shooting for the stars a little bit too hard.
I mean, you think he would have like, humbled himself a little bit by now, having to lay off so many people and going through this bear market for, I mean, we're very deep into this bear market. We're hopefully climbing out of it soon. I still don't understand the beef at all between these two projects. Like you said, like, I mean, I'm probably not going to play Star Atlas, but it looked really cool. The trailers look pretty cool. I think if the game comes out, it's going to be successful, assuming they actually survive long enough to get a game out. But we're all in this Web3 space, so I want to see them succeed.
I don't really understand the beef. It's like they're not even our competition. There's no such thing as an NFT game. Like adding NFTs to your game is a quality of life change. So, and we're in completely different markets. So why do they feel the need to even have that beef? I mean, Kieran called him out for something that was kind of legitimate. I mean, let's be honest. Like he's saying his game's going to be out in such a short time when that's not what's the other game that's like kind of like Star Atlas that's not even finished yet, still in beta? I can't remember. Somebody in the comments.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
But yeah, I mean that game looks like it's going to be absolutely sick when it's finished too. But Star Atlas is similar. It's not the same thing. I understand, but it's similar to that. And like, bro, like I don't know, man. Whatever. We're not even competitors.
Yeah, and if they just laid off basically half of their staff, in theory, that kind of doubles the time it's going to take to build something. But in that one clip that Kagi posted, like I said, he actually had the nerve to say that you can't even call Illuvium a blockchain game. I think he said that. He's like, it's not even a blockchain game. He literally said that. He's like, all they did was just add NFTs. Talking about how he's like being innovative in the space. And he's just like, Illuvium, you can't even call them a blockchain game.
That's what it. Wait, he just said they just add NFTs. Like, what do you want us to do? What else is there?
See, and that just tells me like he didn't really have a good argument. He's just, I don't know.
That sounds like a salty hater to me. And I hope their game does well. I hope they make millions and millions. I don't even care if they do better than Illuvium. You know what I mean? We're not competitors. Dude, it's not a big deal. Honestly, we should be working together. Really. Yeah. Like promoting each other's games. That would be beneficial for everybody, but
That's what I'm saying. Because
if they want to act like
if
that, it
Star
is what it
Atlas,
is.
yeah, if Star Atlas onboards a bunch of Web 2 gamers and they realize the potential of NFTs and stuff, they're going to look around and be like, all right, where are the other good Web 3 games with NFTs? And
same
Illuvium is
for
going to
us.
be the first thing they look at.
Yep.
And it could be the opposite way too. Anyone that Illuvium brings on, maybe they're like, well, I'm really liking this blockchain stuff. Like, what are the
Yep.
other good games coming? Like, I really do think, they should be working together. But, I mean, who knows? We'll see how it plays out. But
Yep.
I'll try out Star Atlas in 2030.
Same. 2035.
2035, if they make it. So let's move on. I decided to actually come up with like a fun segment here. I think it's going to be fun. Now, I told Jimbo he's going to come up with this is real life. So we're assuming that these are real life creatures. He's got 2 pets that are Pokemon and 2 pets that are alluvials. You got 4 creatures that you get to. They're yours. They're dedicated to you. They want to do anything you want them to do. What are your 2 Pokemon and what are your 2 alluvials?
Oh my gosh! I just thought of something really.
Right?
I just thought of something
Snorlax.
really funny. No, probably Lopunny and Ditto for the Pokemon. I'll let you guys.
I thought about Ditto. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty good one.
It's just so useful. You know what I mean? They can turn into anything, any other Pokemon or any other person. You know what I mean?
Wait, to be fair, like I mean, I don't even know what that other Pokemon is.
Lopunny?
I'll show my age right now and say that like I was around during the first set of Pokemon, like Pokemon Red. Charmander was my first Pokemon, and then after I think the second generation of Pokemon, I kind of like tapered off, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know generations 3 and on as much as I know generation 1, basically. So where is that guy from?
They're from I think Gen 3. And actually, let me change my answer. It's not gonna be Ditto. It's gonna be Lopunny and Gardevoir, and he's not gonna know what I'm joking about. But let me know if you get it in comments. The other one for alluvials, what would I pick for an alluvial? I think, man, that's a hard one. What are your picks for alluvials?
All right. How about this? I'll show you my picks.
Yeah,
and we'll go back to you for the other 2.
Yeah, I like.
Because I actually made a cool graphic. If you told me yours, I would have made a graphic for you.
My bad. I'll do it next time.
Yeah. I mean, if people like a fun little segment like this, we'll do more of these because I like doing them.
These are fun.
Where am I here? Here we go. Okay. All right. So this is my setup for Pokemon here. I got Mew, and I don't even know if I say this guy's name right. Is it Lugia?
Yeah, that's good.
Lugia. Okay. First of all, I'm a Gen 1 Pokemon guy. They've always been my favorite. That's what I know the best. Mew, I know it's like the first original Genesis Pokemon, but like it's always been my favorite Pokemon. I want that little guy as like a cute little one that, can come and cuddle up with me in bed at night. So that's why I get the Mew. The Lugia, I'm pretty sure he can fly and he can swim. So now I can hop on him, fly anywhere I want to go.
True.
If I need to go on the water, I can also hop on Lugia. It's very, very big Pokemon. We can go for a cruise in the water too. So he's definitely a utility guy there. Malura, I've always liked this guy for an alluvial. Ever since I first saw, this over a year ago. He's my bodyguard. I'm going to need somebody to, make sure I don't get beat up all the time, I guess. Right? So he's just that beast that's just going to walk on the side of me every time somebody messes with me. Malura's going to get him. And then I've always been a big health guy, big on health. So I got Adorius here to just help me with the healing process. So if I'm struggling, I'm having a little down day, get a little healer there. Really, helps me just feel better about everything. But I mean, that was my thought process. These are the 4 I'm going with in my fantasy world of Illuvium and Pokemon here. So now that you got my perspective here, what are you going with? And give me a little bit more of an explanation.
Okay, so what? I'm changing my answer. I'm not answering. Okay, let me think. I am gonna go Ditto. It's just like too useful in so many different situations. Like you have to go with Ditto. I think second, I would probably go with a flying one. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Groudon. Groudon's always been my favorite Pokemon. Like one of my
Okay.
favorite Pokemon. I think Nidoking's my first, but yeah, Groudon's just sick. Like same reason that you picked Malura.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna mess with
He-
me when I have a Groudon? Like
Yeah, he's a
big
beast.
old boy. As far as Alluvials go, oh man, I was thinking not Atlas, Archie. For the same reason that you picked your the deer, it can heal me.
Yeah.
But it's also cute, so I can cuddle up with him. And then
Mhm.
second, I think I gotta go with Umber again. Not for like the bodyguard thing, but like I feel like if I wanted to really take somebody out, you ever talk bad in my Twitch stream or like you're talking shit in League, I can just send that Umber because he's like a ninja and he just take you out. You're gone. So you don't get to
He's
talk
a
crap to
rogue,
me.
right?
Yeah,
He's a rogue. Yeah.
bye, you're dead. So
Yeah.
that's a mean team. I like that.
Yeah. We do something like this again. I'm definitely making a graphic for it because that would be cool to see that guy. You know what? I might even make that and put it up when I do the editing here. So
Sounds
maybe you see this. If I didn't get too lazy, then it might be up here. But all right, so that's cool. I do like talking about Pokemon every once in a while because a lot of people from Illuvium, had a history with Pokemon. It's one of the reasons that I was drawn to Illuvium in the first place. But there's still that nostalgia there. I see the little Mew and I'm like, oh, that cute little Pokemon. Like, I need to find an Illuvial that I get that attachment with, and I think it will. Last segment here, leak of the week.
The one I was thinking was just how beautiful the art on the Snoop Dogg alluvial is.
Snoop Dogg Illuvial.
The
Wait.
Komodo, Blotto, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is the artwork is very well done here.
Absolutely incredible. One thing I've said this before, but one thing you can never, ever, ever take away from Illuvium is that the art is 11 out of 10. Top notch, best in the industry by far as well. It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if you're not in this Discord looking at these in the leak section, like, you're definitely missing out. Because what you're seeing on the screen right now is just not going to justify what this looks like, on my screen right now. The level of detail is just, it's amazing. But yeah, I used to like this guy, but I don't know. I don't know about it. It looks like just like a girly, like hair coming down.
Don't do that.
With
No,
with the flowers.
You can have flowers and not be girly. I mean, look at the rest. It's like a story of rebirth. It's a beautiful story as well.
I don't even want to say what like this looks like.
What? You have to say it now.
I don't know. I mean, it looks like take off the little ferns here in the flowers, and it looks like a beastly dude. Yeah. And then you add the flowers and the
oh gosh. Come on, man. It's fine.
Here, I don't know what he's trying to do.
He's beautiful and a beast. Relax. It's like, fine. You get a man who can do both.
If you were to guess, what would this Illuvial's pronouns be?
Oh my gosh, I don't want to go there.
Because I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe Azizer. Who knows?
Azizer. All right.
You never know.
We'll go with it. We'll
have to ask him ourselves.
Okay.
Them. Sorry.
Zem. Here's a couple more from your guy. Oh, actually, I like this one better. So this is the stage 1, right?
Stage 2.
Oh, stage 2, and you were looking at the stage 3.
Yep.
So this one's Crunk, right?
I don't know their names, to be honest. I think it is.
Yeah. Either way,
I'm almost positive it is.
I like this version better. I actually like the stage 1 a lot better, but I don't have an image of that right now.
You're crazy, bro. That stage 3 is incredible.
Yeah. I'm gonna use this leak. This has actually been out for a couple weeks, but it gets me excited for the PvP. There's still so much we don't know about how PvP is going to work. Just like you've always said, it's really what's going to drive this game. Like, if the PvP is good, the game is going to be good. Yep. So seeing these leaks, just that it's almost there. Team members that are able to play this are saying that they're play testing it. It's coming along, and I think we're going to get it sooner than we might think. Like, I don't know, maybe hopefully by like September or something. Because I know if we're still looking at a Q4 release date for open beta, I would still be thinking the end of Q4. But let's say late December. So we probably need to get PvP out, at least 2 solid months before open beta comes out. So we're looking at October, maybe the latest, but I think September might be a good target for that to come out. But yeah, these 2 leaks right here, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it just looks absolutely sick. Like you said, everything's going to be driven from PvP. It might not be your favorite game, but it's got the most mainstream adoption potential. Yeah, it's just going to be absolutely incredible. I can't wait for it. And as you said, I don't know this for sure, but I think they're hiding a lot of stuff on purpose. They want us to be surprised and like, ooh, when it finally gets released. And I'm sure once we get closer to release, they're going to be releasing a lot of more information. But I think that's the plan. They're just trying to save everything up so they can build a bunch of hype right now. I was just talking to Taryn, and I was like, I feel like it's the calm before the storm right now. And he's like, no, dude, it is the storm right now, because he's internal, right? So he knows everybody's busting their ass right now. But for us, like on the outside that don't really know everything that's going on, like right now it's the calm, and we're about to get smacked in the face, and I can't wait to get smacked in the face.
Yeah. Well, there was a tweet that, or not, what do you call it, a tweet now? But anyways, Kieran put out something on X. I think it might have just been this morning, or maybe it was yesterday, where he was just talking about like he got like a second wind, or I forget what he called it, but like the excitement's coming back for him because he sees, how close they are and everything that's being worked on right now. And when Aaron puts out a tweet like that, everyone gets a little hyped. I noticed the ILV went up a couple dollars, or $1.50 or something today. Maybe it was because of his tweet. Who knows? Really, I see that tweet and I'm just like, oh, I gotta buy some more ILV. Like we're getting closer.
I love Kieran. He's such a good hype man.
He really is. Like, I don't know how he does it, but he doesn't have to say much to just get the community hyped around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of this episode. Episode 24 is in the books. I think this was a good one. Great having SJUD on. Jimberino, always great having you on. Any final words before we head off?
No, just the calm before the storm. I hope you guys are ready.
Yeah. Like this video. I always forget to say that. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Go over to all Jimbo's socials on X, on YouTube, and on Twitch. They should all be linked below. Or if I need to change those links for Twitter. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Even on Rumble, if you're on there. I'm on Rumble.
Rumble?
Yeah.
I tried Rumble. I put up a video and I think I got like one view or maybe 2 views, and I was like, I don't know.
It's kind of a waste of time, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll see. Rumble might have a future. Right now, it's not there for me. But anyways, that's it. See you later. Thanks again, Jimbo.
Yep.
Catch you on the next one.